All right, guys, so we got to talk about a rapper that set the blogosphere on fire by coming out here and making what is a very, very controversial statement to make as a black person in this country, especially as a rapper that is supposed to be in tune with the culture, right? These guys are an integral part in regards to what the culture is, right? And DaBaby came out here and said something that I think a lot of these rappers think, okay? However, they're afraid to say out loud because they don't want to face backlash from the woke revolutionaries. In which DaBaby, who is from North Carolina, by the way, basically said in no uncertain terms that he supports Trump because, according to him, Trump is a gangster. Take a look.
Do I f with Trump? Now? Hell yeah.
Oh, man.
What made you f with him?
Trump is a gangster. Nigga let Kodak go.
Yeah.
And Lil back in, though. What the f?
Lil Wayne.
Nah, he ain't back in. Kodak ain't home, man. He good.
Oh.
A lot of that shit don't be, man. It's just media. Media now, it just make, media make an ant look like a f***ing dinosaur. Like,
yeah. You see, we had, did you see when we had Trump on this shit?
Huh?
We had Trump on this.
Yeah, see, y'all don't see, so y'all got something going on.
It got taken down.
It got deleted in 12
Very
hours.
fast.
Why they do that? Because he's a gangster.
Because he's a gangster, right? Because Trump is a gangster. I mean, the mainstream liberal media thinks Trump is a gangster. That's why they're trying so hard to get him indicted and thrown in jail for conspiracy, right? Because they think he's a gangster, okay? But what DaBaby is saying here is not surprising to me because behind closed doors, that's what a lot of these rappers are thinking, right? I believe they all support Trump, right? When they went to the voting booth, they probably all was like, yeah, I'm going to vote for Trump because Trump has been very kind to these rappers, okay? I could name numerous situations in which Trump has been very benevolent towards them, right? For example, getting A$AP Rocky out of Sweden, okay? Apparently, Trump threatened a trade war with Sweden over A$AP Rocky, right? Allegedly, that's what he did, okay? You talk about a guy going the extra mile for the community, right? Or the culture, okay? He also got Lil Wayne pardons, right? He got Kodak Black pardons. Trump has done a lot for the rap community, okay? And the rap community used to love Trump. Back in the day, all these guys would rap about Trump and how they want to be like Trump. They admired Trump. They loved Trump. They hung out with Trump. But as soon as the Democrat Party said black folks are not supposed to like Trump, right? All of a sudden, they stopped liking Trump, right? They started to hate Trump. So from a certain perspective, I can respect what DaBaby is saying because the incentive structure is to hate Trump, okay? That is the incentive structure, okay? Because you can get claps and applause for hating Trump, right? The woke revolutionaries should lift you up, right? For hating Trump, okay? And that brings me to this video interview between Candace Owens and DJ Academics about T.I., right? Somebody who allegedly behind closed doors basically agrees with conservatives in the Republican Party on a lot of things. However, when he got on stage with Candace a few years ago to discuss the issues in the black community, basically he went against all those things that he told Candace behind closed doors that he was for because, again, coming out and supporting Trump or seeming like you're for Trump or for Republicans makes you look bad, right? And I want to remind you guys of that infamous exchange between T.I. and Candace Owens before I get into this recent interview with Candace Owens kind of calling out T.I. on him being fake about his real positions during that exchange. Take a look.
When you say make America great again, which period are we talking about? The period when women couldn't vote? The period when we were hanging from trees?
I'll answer.
Or like the crack era? Which period in America are you trying to make America like
So
again?
I actually think that I would totally rock a hat right now that said make Black America great again. Because Black America,
make America.
Before,
We're talking about make America. That wasn't the question.
I am answering your question.
Which period was America great that we're trying to replicate?
Well,
which era was it? Tell me.
I think I'll answer your question.
Tell me.
I'm ready to answer your question.
Which era was it?
What?
Which era was so great?
Here's the thing that you guys are forgetting. America was actually one of the slavery was all over the world.
Answer the
all
question.
over the world.
Man,
America
answer
was.
the question.
I'm not saying it's okay. So why are you saying oh?
Hey man,
America was one of the first countries.
I want to like you so bad.
I'm trying to
Because you're
answer
so
your question.
smart. I want to like you so
If I
much.
can't answer the
I want to
question,
hear
it
you.
doesn't
I want to
matter.
be able to hear them. I want to be able to hear
If I
them.
can't answer the question and you're just going to boo when I say slavery was all over the world, which is a fact, why are you booing a fact?
Because you're making light of.
No, I'm not.
You're making light
I
of
haven't
the
gotten to my
enslavement
points. I'm not
of people that look like us. You can't make light of that. That ain't nothing
I
you
haven't
breeze
even
over.
finished the sentence. How am I making
You
light of
started
anything?
with some bull.
Yeah. So apparently, T.I. is not really like that behind closed doors, according to Candace Owens, and that he was putting on a show to get likes, right, and applause, okay? Which, again, is why I respect DaBaby coming out here and giving his real opinion on Trump. So without further ado, let's actually play this interview that Candace Owens did with DJ Academics recently about how rapper T.I. is kind of fake when it comes to his real beliefs.
And I remember I saw the clip way before I saw the whole thing. And it was just like, it was framed like, yo, T.I. checks, just checks Candace Owens because she was talking crazy. And really, it wasn't until I watched the whole thing, I was like, to be honest, it was really two people on that stage making any sense.
Right.
It was you and Clearly
Killer Mike.
right?
And that's the whole thing. They don't want black people to see the whole thing. They look for these stupid cultural moments like, oh, that's it. That's all we need is that 5 seconds because God forbid Black America hears what everybody in that room heard, by the way. When that panel concluded, so many people came up to me in the audience and were like, I've never heard you in full form. Why don't you do more stuff like this? Why don't I actually agree with a lot of what you were saying, because when you hear me in a longer form, then you go, oh, okay, actually I realize that the media keeps excerpting her and making her sound this way or that way. But why are they doing that is the bigger question. Why didn't they let that run in its entirety? Why weren't the headlines like Killer Mike and Candace, have an incredible discussion about Black America, father absence, and all of these topics? Why did we let this fool, who is the biggest, he is such a fraud. T.I. is I was just telling you before we started running, but that situation got me so angry because T.I. was the only person that I knew prior to stepping onto that stage. Kanye had introduced us, maybe the year prior. We had spoken on the phone for a lot of like hours on the phone about what our opinions are politically.
Felt like he was trying to dunk on you a lot.
It was crazy because when I spoke to him on the phone, he was like, I agree with you on this. I agree with you on this. I mean, agreed on everything we talked about.
No debate.
No debate.
No pushback.
The only thing he says is like, I just can't get behind Trump, right? That was the only thing he ever said on the phone. I can't get behind Trump. Every other topic we talked about Black America, he agreed with. He was so kind. We got on stage and he turned into like a performer. Like he literally put on a performer. So I say now T.I. is a fraud. He's a very little man physically, and mentally he's a small man, because to do that for what? There was nothing but, in that room, I was not jumping on stage being like, vote for Trump, right? I was not up there like, you got to be with Trump or against Trump. We were having a very real, honest discussion that Black America deserved to have on that stage, right? That they deserved to listen to and develop opinions. And he halted it by, acting like a goon.
Do you feel like...
Well, because, again, the incentive structure is to just hate Trump, right? Even though, again, the discussion is more about, the direction of Black America and Black, American our values and stuff like that. No. He turned it into an opportunity to dunk on Candace Owens and Trump for points, right? For cool points on social media. Even though behind closed doors, allegedly, according to Candace Owens, he agrees with most of her positions, which means that he probably agrees with most of Trump's positions, right? Which we know that as a rapper, he benefits from, okay? Because a lot of these rappers own businesses, right? They're small business owners, okay? They're investors. And, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017 helped out a lot of these guys, right? If you own a small business, if you're a business owner, yeah, Trump helped you out a lot, okay? So again, these guys are benefiting from Trump's policies. Behind closed doors, they probably vote for Republicans, right? But out in the public, though, oh, we hate Trump. Oh, we hate conservatives. We hate people like Candace Owens. They're sellouts, right? When, again, if you have a real conversation with them behind closed doors, it's a whole lot different. I know we definitely agree with you, right? We agree with everything that you're saying. We love tax cuts, okay? We definitely think that the Democrat Party is not acting in our best interest. But again, in public, though, they won't say those things, which again is why I respect people who come out and just tell the truth about how they feel about people like Trump, despite the potential pushback, because we all know how they actually feel. We all know. These rappers loved Trump back in the day. They loved him. What changed? The only thing that changed is the guy decided to run for president. He probably was the same dude back then saying the exact same stuff, and it was like, oh yeah, that's great. Right? Let's take pictures together.
Like you guys were like, I don't know, friends might be a stretch, but like if you guys were talking before, because I felt like he just met you that day.
Yeah.
And also, I really felt like he just completely hated everything you said.
Yeah, and he's a liar. He's a fraud and a liar. So, you know, whenever I see headlines now about him and all the personal stuff he has going on, I'm like, I don't doubt anything, because anybody that can move like that, because to me, I don't care what your position is. If you are left and you believe what you say, I respect you for believing it, even if I disagree. He gets out there and says what he doesn't believe, right? And tries to create a moment, and he literally just became a performer on stage. Like, what does the crowd want? How can I get the crowd hyped up, even if I have to say stuff that I don't believe? That is so toxic for the Black community. That is so toxic.
I think that was also around the time where there was many things that, I don't know if it's still happening now, but it was definitely shown on the media a lot, where, you know, incidents with like, you know, Black men and like the police were happening. Like I would always see like a long caption that T.I. would just write out, and I was like, oh wow, like I think he's very interested, at least in some of the political ramification of what's happening in the Black community. So I'm like, all right, maybe that's where he was angling to. I think, and it's been so interesting watching so many of those people who seemingly was trying to fight that fight. Now they've completely pivoted.
Right.
You know, like he's doing comedy now, you know?
Yeah.
Well, not saying doesn't.
He's a joke. I mean, like he should be doing comedy. That is the correct space for him, because you're a joke. If you could spend hours and hours having a conversation, like it just, I don't understand
people
that
to him again?
No. Because I don't.
Yeah. So basically what is being said here, right? And DJ Academics brought up a good point about how all these people came out here, these rappers, oh, police brutality and Black Lives Matter and all this other stuff. They moved on, right? They moved on to other stuff, okay? T.I.'s in comedy now. He ain't got nothing to say about all that stuff because there's no money to be made in it anymore, right? There's no money to be made anymore, right? So he doesn't care anymore. Again, some of these guys, man, it just blows my mind. Again, especially these rappers that come out here and act like they hate Trump so much, and the Republicans, when, again, you know, they're probably the main people out here voting for Republicans. They benefited a lot from Trump. They benefit a lot from some of these Republican policies. Again, for them to just come out here and just pretend like they don't agree with it just blows my mind, right? So, again, I respect people like DaBaby who can just keep it 100 and just say, yeah, you know, I definitely like Trump. He's a gangster, right? So, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.